Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday night episode of Unscripted Sports Podcast, brought to you by BS3 Radio with Spreaker and Northeast Streaming Sports. Jay and I have been out for a while. It's glad to be back, and back with our folks again. We miss all of our fans that come and watch, and miss the guys, the Logan and Shaw and Frankie. So you can watch us here on Facebook, of course, like, comment, and share. And then we're also on Zodiac, on Roku, on YouTube, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. You can find us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We have something coming up tonight. I guess it's the giveaway from our jersey giveaway. My tongue's tied tonight. Jay, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me fix my screen here. All right. Yeah, absolutely. So it's with happiness that I get to announce the winner is actually two. We have two winners because I had to pull Frankie C off of it because he joined the show, but I still feel like he shared the show a lot before he joined. So I went ahead and awarded him the second one. He was actually in second place, right behind Joshua Bailey, and I don't even think it was close. But Joshua Bailey got the jersey giveaway, and Frankie C was the second jersey giveaway. And so Joshua Bailey is going to be getting a San Francisco Giants baseball jersey in large, and Frankie C is going to be getting a New England Patriots jersey and 3 XXX. I didn't know he was even that big.
There we go. Hey, got a lot of comfort for him.
Hey, you ain't lying.
Now, listen, if I ever win a jersey, please do not announce it on public TV what size I'm getting.
Hey, listen.
Is this a guy thing? What is this?
Hey, one thing, though, real quick. Those jerseys will be ordered on January 25th, and the winners will be notified once I receive them, and I will be collecting.
January.
Not January.
Oh, my bad. Well, the 25th of this month, April 25th.
April 25th. I'm about to say it is 420, Jay. You might be participating.
All right. I know it's 420, but.
Hey.
They started early.
Hey.
All right. So I am Melanie, your moderator. Our analyst tonight, of course, are Logan Landers.
What's going on, Jay? Mel, it's been way too long since y'all been on the show. We've been missing you a lot. Frankie, we miss you too, bro. Come back whenever you get the chance. And Big Shaw, who's going to be joining us in just a little bit. Hey, we got the whole crew coming back. It's always great to see. We already got some good comments here. Joshua Bailey saying, y'all back. Congratulations once again, Josh, on the free jersey. Also, our boy at BS3 Radio, Ben Sutherth, is saying, welcome back, Jay. And what is up? Nice to see you, Ben, as always.
All right, you guys have already heard from Jay tonight, but we got Jay McLovin.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back, and I didn't time it out to be 420 friendly, but it turned out to be 420 friendly. So, hey, listen, to all you guys that celebrate 420, I did this for you guys. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Frankie C when he comes back. And Big Shaw, I love to see Big Shaw. And shout out. Hey, I want to say shout out, to everybody, that we've missed, and I appreciate all you guys. H-Town, let's get it cracking, baby.
All right, we got Big Shaw and the baby.
That's right.
Look at that sweet baby.
Oh, the reason we're still on the air is because of that child. Her and Frankie's kids as well.
Goodness.
They are adorable. All right, let's get started with the topics here. We've got Shane Bieber's historic pitching run. Jay, what do you think about that?
What do I think about it? I wish he was a Houston Astro. That's what I think about it. Yeah, listen, the guy's he came out the league. He was last year's Cy Young winner. First of all, he was a 2020 Cy Young winner. Now he's basically starting off another Cy Young year 4 straight 10-plus strikeout seasons. The last guy that did that, and he's tied with currently, is Nolan Ryan. As we all know, Nolan Ryan was the strikeout king at 5,000 strikeouts. Nobody's beaten Nolan Ryan yet. But Bieber, he's looking really good. He's young. He's got some good stuff behind him. So I think it's potentially that Bieber could give him a run for his money. I think he definitely give Randy Johnson a run for his money, if nothing else. But 4 strikeout seasons, I could if he continues the way he's going and he doesn't get injured or he doesn't, run into a slump or something. Not that I wish that upon him, and I don't want maybe knock on some wood somewhere. But if he continues the way he's going, he potentially could be a back-to-back Cy Young winner, and obviously making his case for Cooperstown. So, Shane Bieber, hey, hats off and salute, and come join the Astros because we need you.
I said the Astros need a little bit of help too, Jay.
Yeah, we do. Jesus, we do.
Woo! All right, Logan.
Yeah, so Shane's been having a phenomenal season so far, like Jay mentioned. 48 strikeouts already in just his 4 games pitched. So absolutely phenomenal. But I mean, coming from, like Jay said, a Cy Young winner just a season ago, this isn't really too unexpected. It's not like it's a guy you've never heard of. This is Cleveland's ace, basically, one of the best pitchers in baseball at the moment. So, I mean, almost 50 strikeouts basically in 4 games. That's a lot. Let's just be real. That is a lot. And people are striking out more now than ever. Let's not forget that also. Teams are striking out close to 10 times a game, honestly. So Bieber is obviously just taking advantage of all those teams in the AL that the Indians have been facing and mowing them down. He's been doing a great job, and I think that he could keep it up because he's got the talent. He's still young. I think he's only 25, maybe 26. So he does have a lot left in the tank. The only thing that might, hamper him is, like Jay said, injuries. And also we see now that managers are pulling starters earlier and earlier just due to wear and tear, limit their innings a little bit for the postseason. So we'll have to see. But I don't think that'll affect him too much. He might, get cut an inning or 2 short each game. But so far, he's been doing really good. The Indians are doing all right at the moment. And so far, Dan Bieber is leading that team to some victories. So hats off to him. And hopefully he can keep it going the rest of the season.
All right, Shaw.
I don't even know what happened. I don't even know who this Shane guy is. But I hadn't watched I hadn't watched a good baseball game. Yes, I did. Actually, the best game I watched this year was the Dodgers and the Padres. That was a good game. That was a real good game. Boy, they're gonna be like Boston and the Yankees. They're gonna hate each other. But I don't know what this Shane Bieber guy did because I ain't really been watching baseball as much. But I watched their games. But whatever he did, I guess it was pretty good. I guess it was pretty good what that man did.
He's doing really good. Like I said, those 50 strikeouts, basically, he's let a couple of walks, about 10 walks, but he's also pitched the most innings in baseball so far with about 30. So far, he's doing really good.
But he ain't better than Blake Snell. He ain't better than Blake Snell.
Hey, you don't think he's related to Justin, do you?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, but I bet he gets it a lot. Hey, is Justin Bieber? Y'all related?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, for like an all-star jersey or something, because they had a thing last year where you could customize your jersey, and he put like not that Bieber or something on it. I think something like that.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Let me see if I can find it real quick and put it on the screen. Oh yeah, hold on.
He ain't better than Blake Snell. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, Blake Snell is a great pitcher, and like I said, we talked about his whole situation back last year with the Rays. But yeah, let me get the picture pulled up right quick. All right, here it is. This was his Players Weekend jersey from last season. Not Justin Bieber.
Hey, that's exactly what I would have on my shirt too. Not Justin, baby.
He's a long lost brother. Yes, it was. Baseball's fun. All right, let's switch on over to basketball, Mel. What's going on now?
All right. No, you're good. Can the Nets reach the finals without Kevin Durant and James Harden? What do you think, Jay? Did you want that one, Shaw?
Shaw wants this one.
Go on, Shaw.
James Harden is out. James Harden is out indefinitely, so Brooklyn gonna be in some trouble. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to tell you. I don't know if y'all knew that he is out.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I wanted to tell y'all. But you can go first. I just want to tell y'all that.
No, and that's the thing, right? So you got Durant, who's out with I believe it's a thigh injury that he had, and then you have Harden, who went out with another similar injury, but he's out indefinitely because they're waiting for the MRI. I guess the MRI probably is not showing something like they want. So here's the deal, folks. I said this at the very beginning when they traded for James Harden, and I said, man, listen, y'all guys are putting a great team together, but you got Durant, who's injury-filled. You got Kyrie Irving, who's sometimes here and sometimes not here. Harden sometimes misses games due to injuries. They're putting together a great squad on paper, but in reality, can they sustain the injuries? Now, that's not to say the Lakers got their own injuries, right? Lakers, the injuries are just not falling at the right time for the Brooklyn Nets. We're getting close to playoffs. They're just right around the corner. Probably, if Harden does make it back, I don't think he's going to make it back before the playoffs even start. So they're going to have to rely heavily on on Durant, who is already kind of coming off, a torn Achilles injury, plus the thigh injury, plus COVID, and every other thing you throw in the world. And then you got Kyrie Irving, who sometimes is there and sometimes not there. So can they make it? No. At the rate they're going with these injuries, I don't think they will. But they're going to have a healthy Durant for sure. And they really need a healthy James Harden to come back to even if you reach the finals, even to go beyond the finals, they're going to need a healthy Harden. So this team, with the injuries, at the timing that the injuries are coming in, are looking really, really scary to not make the finals. The Lakers, hey, they're looking pretty good right now. They've given, like I said earlier, they finally did what I told them to do. They rested Anthony Davis. They're resting LeBron James. And their injuries are going to be perfectly timed to come back and hit the ground running going into these playoffs. And the Lakers are priming themselves again for another title. I hope the Nets can get these injuries under control. But right now, with KD and James, it's not looking good.
All right, Logan, what do you think?
Yeah, they like Jay said, man, they're hitting some injuries at the worst time. There's a little bit less than 20 games left in the season. And the health is the biggest key right now. Ben Sutter is saying his health is going to be important for the Lakers and the Nets. Yeah, it is. On one side of that coin, the Nets, KD's hurt, Harden's hurt. But then for the Lakers, LeBron and AD have both been hurt for a little bit now, but they're starting to come back. Meanwhile, with Durant, who had, I think it was a thigh contusion, nothing too serious, but Harden, who just had a setback with his hamstring, who knows how that's going to hamper him in the playoffs. He hasn't been the most clutch playoff player of all time. Jay, you know that way back when he was in with the Rockets, he couldn't hit the clutch shots like you'd want a star player to be.
Oh, absolutely.
So you really want, him on your team because the Nets need all the offensive firepower they can get because that team doesn't play defense at all. They don't. They have really nobody who can play defense, but they have a lot of shooters. They really do. I mean, of course, those three guys are going to be your catalyst that you want to build your team around. That's exactly what they did. I believe they signed some guy from a European league who's like their scoring champion just, a day or two ago. So that's another weapon they added. They have guys off the bench who can just shoot. So if they lose, if they lose Durant or Harden or Kyrie for an extended amount of time, whether it is, continuing in the regular season, that could hamper their season and how they're placed with the playoffs because they're still fighting for that one seed with the Sixers. So we'll have to see how that's going to affect them because they could maybe slip because I know they have a couple of games ahead of the Lakers and some other teams like the Nuggets who are right there, but they really need, I think, KD and Harden to get to the finals. Because, Kyrie's a good player, not knocking him at all, but it's just that Kyrie doesn't really have any other, stars around him. It would just be Kyrie Irving and a bunch of misfits, and that's basically what the Nets team is. It's those three guys.
There ain't no misfits.
Who else on that team, Sean? Name me three players.
I'll go when it's my turn. All
right. So I'm about to say, we didn't know half the players that were on the team back when they traded everybody. But I don't think they can make it without KD and Harden. They need both of those guys because Kyrie's a good player, but I don't see him leading the team to the finals. That's just me. What you got, Sean?
All right, Sean.
Well, Kyrie can lead that team to the finals. I ain't worried about that. But they don't need those guys right now. They don't need them. Let them rest. Let them rest. That's what the Lakers should do with Anthony Davis. Let Anthony Davis rest. Let LeBron James rest. They don't need Harden and Durant yet. Let them guys rest to the playoffs because the healthy next team is a dangerous team. And those guys on the bench, they can play too. They can play too. Yeah. They don't need those guys back right now. But don't hit the panic button on the Brooklyn Nets. They're gonna be fine. Who y'all need to worry about, as I said this before, was the New York Knicks. I told y'all them boys was gonna do something. I told you, but nobody left. They left. Oh, the Knicks ain't gonna do nothing. Boy, the Knicks creeping up on them boys. The Knicks is creeping up. And I want to say this too.
The Knicks have been having a good few weeks or so. They've been playing really good.
I like Joel Embiid. Give that man the MVP, please. Please give that man the MVP. But don't worry about the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not worried about them. They're going to do their thing, and they're going to play the Lakers in the finals. Watch what I tell you.
James is chiming in saying that he likes you, Shaw.
I know everybody likes
I agree that they need to be that they're going to rest them. Mm-hmm. What I have a hard time with is when they do come back, even though they've been rested, how are these injuries going to be? I mean, are they still going to be nagging injuries, or are they going to be? You know, are they going to be nagging, or are they going to be?
Are you worried about the team chemistry though? Because those guys have only played, I think it was 5 games together as a whole unit.
No, they ain't played. No, they only played 7. They only played 7.
7. Okay, yeah. So not, still just 7 out of
Don't worry about that.
50-something games.
Y'all about the wrong thing. Don't worry about the Brooklyn Nets. They're gonna do their thing when they get back. I'm telling you. Don't worry about that. They're gonna be fine.
We'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mel. We're going to football now.
All right. Alex Smith retires. What do you got, Jay?
Yeah, you know, I love Alex Smith. He's that feel-good story that everybody likes to see, right? You know, he had that Theismann injury, and unlike Theismann, he actually did come back and actually did make it on the field. Not only did he make it on the field, but he played good on the field. Like, he wasn't just coming back and, you know, just taking some garbage minutes just so he could say he made it back. I mean, he came back and he looked pretty darn good. And, you know, and I think he could probably play for a lot of teams. I know he was talking with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was talking about possibly reuniting with Urban Meyer because he liked what Urban was building there in Jacksonville. But I think at the end of the day, I think he said, look, I want to walk with my wife on the beach. I don't want to take a chance and not be able to do the things I want to do after football is over with. And so he basically put his family first. But let's take our hats off to this guy. He's a comeback player of the year for a reason. He didn't just come back just to say he came back. He came back to do something productive, and he did. And now it's time for Alex to do what a lot of people need to do, and that is enjoy the rest of your life. You know, but the guy is dominated. He's dominated for quite some time. I'm really happy about him, and I look forward to seeing what he does, you know, outside of football, whether it be coaching, which I know Andy Reid had said he would like to get him to come back and start doing some coaching. Andy Reid said it. Now, whether or not he was being facetious or being real, who knows? But, I mean, hey, come on, Alex. You got a good football mind. Let's do something.
There you go.
All right, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Smith, former number 1 overall pick. Let's not forget that. Back when he was with the 49ers, had a good career there. Went to a few teams, went to the Redskins, went to the Chiefs. Had a really good career all in all. You know, he wasn't a bust by any means. Had a productive career. Played for 16 seasons. And like you said, if it wasn't for that, you know, brutal leg injury, who knows where he'd be, you know, right now, if he'd be a starting quarterback coming into this season. But one of the more gruesome injuries we've ever seen, like you said, it was like that Joe Theismann injury. And he's able to work his way back after, I think, what was it, a year or maybe 2 years?
He was out for 2 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Of just extensive hard work and rehab that he had to go through. That was excruciating. I know they said he almost lost his leg at one point.
Right.
So just for this guy to even step foot on a football field once again, let alone play a few games, that was incredible. I mean, whenever he won the Comeback Player of the Year award, everyone was saying just rename it after him. And why wouldn't they? I mean,
they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that.
I would though. They should.
They're not.
I don't think they have an official name for it. I think it's just Comeback Player of the Year. I don't think they named anybody after it.
No, they ain't gonna name Alex Smith.
I'd say, yeah, Smith had it. Hey, props, you know, hats off to him though. Had a good career. retiring now, playing with his kids, having fun with his wife, going on the beach, having a good life after football. Like I said, you got your money, get out of there, enjoy the rest of your life. And all in all, good career, Alex Smith. Hats off to you. Hope you enjoy retirement.
What you got, Big Shaw?
All right, Shaw.
I ain't got much. He retired. I don't know what he's gonna do after. Maybe he may go be a coach or do something, but he's just gonna enjoy the rest of his life. He's gonna be all right. That's all I got to say.
Hey, let me ask you a question. If he would have stayed in and not retired, do you think that a team would eventually pick him up as a starter? Is there any team out there that could have used him as a starter? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the Jets, possibly while they're grooming their next quarterback.
He'd be a backup. He would be a starter.
Right. I mean, do you think that if he had retired, do you think he would eventually got picked up, even as a backup role? Do you think he would have made it in that role?
I think he would have got picked up somewhere. I could see maybe looking at now, maybe like the Panthers, because they got Sam Darnold. That would have been a good backup in case that doesn't work out. That would have been a good fit. Maybe like the Eagles also, because they don't really have a backup quarterback. So I think he would have been picked up somewhere if he chose to keep on playing. Because like you said, he showed last year that he can do it still, even on basically 1.5 legs.
Right. I don't think I think he can still play at a competitive level, not at maybe at an elite level, but I still think, like you said, a backup quarterback behind either Hurts, if Hurts doesn't come out to do what he's supposed, or even like you said with Darnold over at Carolina. What if that doesn't pan out? Or even Miami, if Miami's Tua gets hurt again. Let's be honest, that hip with Tua can go out at any minute.
No, they ain't gonna do that, Jay. They got that already. They're not gonna get him.
No. We're just saying hypothetically, though.
Hypothetically.
I'm about to tell you, he would be like I said, I don't see him getting if he ever did, if he did sign with somebody, he'd be more like a mentor type of role. He'd just be helping out in the locker room, being film sessions, stuff like that. He wouldn't really get much playing time, if at all, like the preseason. But hey, good career though. I'm happy for him, and hopefully he can enjoy his money and have fun with the family. All right. Mel, we're talking some fighting now. Talking some UFC. Jay was excited for this one.
Now, I got to try to pronounce this guy's name. Dustin Poirier.
There you go.
Versus Conor McGregor.
Come on, Jay.
All right, Jay. What do we got?
Man, we got some good stuff. I was hoping this would happen. So right now, Poirier and Conor McGregor, they went one apiece. So it's tied 1-1, just like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier when they had the Thriller in Manila. Come on now, this is just like that. I like Conor McGregor, Poirier, round 3. Let's see who can get it done. Poirier's pissed off at McGregor because McGregor said he gave $500,000 to his charity and then backed out of it. And Poirier gets all butthurt about it, and they want to get on social media and say, "Oh man, McGregor, I don't know how you pull out of this. Yeah, he pulled out. So, settle it in the ring. When you guys meet for that third championship or that third fight, settle in the ring. Take $500,000 out of his butt and settle it in the ring. And I'm keeping it clean because they told me to keep it clean. I can't curse, so I'm keeping it clean. Take $500,000 out of Conor McGregor's behind and call it a day.
All you need. That's it.
That's just motivation. That's just motivation. I hope Conor McGregor is ready for a pissed off Poirier and can handle it.
Well, I mean, there's two sides to that, Jay. Might be pissing him off to throw him out of his game.
Think about it very well could.
He could be going to knock him out in one punch. He swings and misses. He gets a roundhouse kick to the side of his dome. And that might be it. You never know.
And that's all it takes.
That's what McGregor does. He beats you in the media, in the press conferences, on social media. That's his game. He gets under your skin that way. And like you said, by him not donating money to Poirier's charity, that's a reason right there. That he knew that this fight was going to happen, and he did that on purpose. I truly believe. Now, is he going to give some money? I'm sure he's going to give some money eventually after the third fight. At least he should. But overall, man, this would be a good fight. Like you said, this is one of the better trilogies in the UFC they've had in a while. Both these guys make a lot of money. They draw a lot of money. And I'm looking forward to this fight. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, both the other two fights have been really good. And I'm expecting nothing less of this one. Pay-per-view, of course. Well, it's like $70 or whatever. So if you got the money, buy it. If not, go over to a friend's house who can pitch in $10 or $15 and watch it there. Watch it safe. And I think this would be a great fight. You know, it happens on July 10th. So we got about 2 months left, 2-3 months until this fight happens. But the UFC's also got like full capacity for their stadiums and the arenas. So that means that they're getting a crowd behind them again. Because a lot of guys who've been fighting on Fight Island and whatnot the past few months, they haven't had that big experience like a full house. And both these guys, they weren't going to fight in an empty building. There's no way with their name value. There's no way. So they were able to get them. They got them in this packed house. They're going to make a lot of money. T-Mobile Arena. I'm not sure where that's at the top of my head, but I know it's probably like Vegas or somewhere big. They always love going to Vegas. And they're gambling's going to be off the charts. It is in Vegas. I just saw. So they're going to make a lot of money. And whoever wins this fight gets bragging rights. That's all that matters, man. Lightweight bout, number 1 versus number 6. You remember in the last fight, people were saying that McGregor, should he go home? He lost. It's like, is he washed up? Because he didn't look great. Poirier looked phenomenal. And it was kind of a shock whenever he won to a lot of people. But now you see it's even 1v1. Time to scrap it out one more time. Best of 3 in this trilogy. And you can really you'll be able to claim who's the better man, all in all. But I want to know, though, is, Jay, for you, do you think that this would hurt Conor's legacy if he loses this trilogy?
Because he's obviously lost to some other guys. He lost to Khabib, and obviously lost to Poirier once out of that.
He's not unblemished.
I think Conor McGregor's. I miss old Conor McGregor. I miss that crazy Conor McGregor when he came into the ring and he did all those little antics and he just looked like a deranged lunatic when he came into the ring. I miss that Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think now I'm seeing more of a tamed, mature, whatever Conor McGregor, and I don't like it. I think it's softened him up a little bit. I kind of like that, like you said. I like the head games Conor McGregor.
Right.
And so if he loses to Poirier, I don't. McGregor still has a name. He still has a draw off of his name. I don't think it's going to necessarily, be like the end-all, be-all for him. But I'll tell you this: it doesn't actually help his chances of regaining what he used to have.
Right.
So he's going to take a few PR rankings or PR hits. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's going to go down. Just like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was great. He had a lot of injuries, a lot of issues, and now Tiger Woods is at the middle of the pack. He's not the same Tiger Woods anymore. He still has a Tiger Woods legend, but he's not feared. He's not feared like he used to be back in the day. And that's the same thing with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor still has the fame, but he's not feared anymore. He's not like, oh my God, this guy's not immortal. He's a mortal human being. We can't beat this guy. Right. So I think he's going to take a few hits in that regard. And I think his perception is going to be perceived a little bit differently now. And I think his fame or his seriousness of him being a serious competitor may take a little bit of a hit. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think, too, with the last fight they had, which was in January of this year, people were really kind of, getting on Poirier just because, he lost that first fight, which was 6 or 7 years ago. It happened, I think, 2014. So people didn't really give him a fighting chance. And he proved that, that he can do it. He knocked him out, TKO'd him, second round. So, he proved that he belongs in the octagon with Conor McGregor. And I'm looking here at Conor's last couple of fights. So in his last 5 fights, he's 3-2. He lost to Nate Diaz. He lost to Khabib and then Poirier. And then he also lost to Nate Diaz in 2016. So he hasn't fought too much, but UFC fighters don't fight that much anyways. But, hey, I'm looking forward to this. I think this will be a good one. I don't think it's going to hurt Conor too much if he loses this because he's won a lot of championships, made a lot of money, got a lot of merch he sold. He's got his own whiskey brand. So I think that he should be fine, though. I think that if he comes out of this one, you'll have a clear cut. This guy is one of the best UFC fighters of all time. But if he loses this one, I do think that you could put him in a discussion with some of the other fighters. I think that would be another topic we could talk about in a later date. I think that could be top UFC fighters. So there you go.
Right, absolutely.
All right, Shaw, what you think about this fight coming up?
I don't got nothing to say about it because I don't watch it.
Well,
and y'all covered half of it. I didn't. I had nothing to say about it.
Well, if you had to pick not who would win, but how they'd win, would you pick like a knockout, or would you think it'd be like a submission or a draw going to the judges? What would you want to see?
Probably a knockout. I don't know. I don't watch UFC, so I don't know. I don't even know. Only reason I know why McGregor is because he kind of crazy and throw it off. But
that's true.
I don't know. I wouldn't waste my money though.
Like I said, so Sean's going to be taking the route of reading it the next day or watching the highlights on ESPN.
So you're not going to spend that $70 and go watch you some pay-per-view?
No. I wouldn't even pay $70. I wouldn't pay $40 for that.
Hey, listen. Hey, I'll tell you right now, the Watchers got a job. I got extra money now. I'm not going to watch it.
I ain't watching.
I tell you what, I'll organize the neighbors. I'll organize all the neighbors, and we'll all chip in.
There
and we can watch it.
Hey, listen! I'm charging $10 at the door.
Oh yeah.
I'll
That's
cook
how you get
some
your
chicken
cover
wings
fee.
and invite the neighbors.
Mm-hmm. That's the cover charge right there for that fight.
Hey, listen, man.
If they get the fight and chicken wings, it might have to be $20.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're gonna have to pay $20 if you want me to call up some wings.
Hey, Jay, don't mess around with his wings. What wings would you pick, Jay? You gonna go with the classic hot wings? You gonna go with a little bit of barbecues or some other flavor? What would you pick?
Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Conor McGregor all out. I'm going habanero.
Oh, okay. A little spice, but a little bit of sweetness to it.
I'm gonna go habanero. That means tomorrow morning is gonna be a rough morning for me.
If I had to,
for that particular night,
it's gonna be worth it. I'd pick I'd go with a nice lemon pepper. It's classic.
I was gonna say,
you know what you're gonna get?
Say some lemon pepper, and I might even marinate them in a little proper 12.
In honor of the fight.
She said the proper 12, and I like how you did that, Melanie. You tied the proper 12 in with Conor McGregor. Nicely done, and I get whiskey. How much better than that? My life is just so perfect right now. I must scratch that. Not habanero. It's gonna be mango habanero.
Ooh, okay, that's nice.
No, I'm thinking the lemon pepper and some proper 12, and then put them on the grill.
That would be pretty good. I like that. Sean, what kind of wings would you get for this fight? What kind of wings you rocking with? What's your go-to wing?
Well, I ain't watching the fight, but
I was saying, what kind of wing would you get though?
Lemon pepper.
Okay, I like it. Classic. You know what you're getting? It's a steak.
I'll tell you. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, I don't care what kind of wings we get. If I can convince my wife to come up with $70 to get this fight, everything, whatever she wants to do, I don't care. She do whatever she wants. She's the woman of the house. I just want to be able to watch my fight, and I'm good.
There you go.
I'll get the neighbors. I'll get the neighbors in on it.
There you go.
And I'll lure them in with chicken wings.
Yeah. You'll just you'll be smoking them on the grill, and they'll just they'll see it and just come on over. It's like, so you're a chicken wing.
No, wait. $20 at the door. $20 at the door.
20.
We got Conor McGregor in here. We got Conor McGregor.
But $20 ain't bad when you're getting fed and watching the fight. That's not bad.
That ain't bad at all.
Hell, you're gonna pay $20 just to go eat wings anyway at the Wing Factory, so we all good.
That is true.
All right, Miss Melanie.
What's our next topic for tonight? It's our women's spotlight we've been on the show.
Yeah.
All right. The U.S. women's national soccer team wins over Sweden and France. Does it set them up for gold at the Olympics? What do we think, Jay?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're doing a hell of a lot better than the U.S. men's national team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now.
Always.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, it's better than the men's national. Because if you know anything about the Olympics right now going into it, the men's national team has been eliminated.
They're gone.
They're not even going to be there. They're going to be on the couch, drinking beer, wishing that they could be at the Olympics.
They're going to be eating the chicken wings, watching the women wings
There
gold.
you go. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, the men are going to be sitting on the couch drinking beer, eating chicken wings, watching the women.
Perfect.
No, let's be honest. For the women's national team, right? They just beat Canada. They beat Brazil. They beat Argentina. They tied Sweden 1-1. They got the tie, luckily. Luckily, they got in a penalty kick at the end of the game. So they almost lost to Sweden, but luckily, they had a penalty kick. They scored on a penalty kick. They took the draw. So they split it with Sweden. And then when it came to France, they beat France, I believe, 2-0. They went into the European games with a 15-0 record. So they went in undefeated going into the European League side of it and challenging those teams. And they basically took a draw on one game and won the other. So I would say this. I was looking at it, and I would say when they go to the Olympics, their biggest challenges are going to be Sweden and Brazil. I think that's going to give them the biggest. I think those two teams are going to give them the biggest threat for their buck. I don't see any of the other teams even coming close to defeating the U.S. unless the U.S. gets injuries or falls into some kind of slump. I think this is the year, another year, because let's be honest, the women's national team, I believe, took gold last quarter. So they've been producing. The women's national team has been winning the whole time.
Heck yeah.
So they're going to go to these Olympics, and they're going to crush it. The only one that can I believe the only one that truly can stop them or give them their biggest competition is going to be Sweden. And they took the draw on that penalty kick. So I will tell you this: if you're drawn at 1-1, that means the U.S. women's team and the Sweden team are both playing excellent defense, and their offense just isn't really getting it done. I think this women's team with the here's the deal, right? So you play Sweden, Sweden's going to be your toughest competition, so that means they're going to come back to the United States. They know what they saw, they know what they're getting at the Olympics. Now they're going to sit there and devise a game plan. Just like Sweden is going to devise their game plan on how to play each other. So I think that when the women go to play in these Olympics, they're going to play it's going to be like a damn WrestleMania Battle Royale. Like the two big titans are going to go at it. And I do truly believe that the USA is going to come out on top. USA, USA, USA. You're going to hear that? USA. Yes, sir. All day.
All right, Logan.
Ladies, if any of you are watching the program right now, bring it on home. Bring us that gold medal. Do it. Do it for Unscripted. Do it for the country. Yeah. Do it for yourselves. Prove that the men's team ain't nothing, first off. And define what it means to be the U.S. women's national team and how good you are on the soccer field, on the pitch. They're done great so far, Jay. They're doing really good. And let's face it, man, when they won a couple of years ago, they were the talk of the town. That's all you could see on your sports centers and all like that, all your Fox Sports. That's all you could hear about, for a couple of weeks was that women's national team, just how electric they were. And I could definitely see that happening again. Because they've been doing really good. They have a lot of great players. They have a good head coach. So I think that if they can just keep gelled and no injuries, I think this team could definitely get gold. I don't see why they couldn't. They got all the pieces you want. They got a good defense. They got good offense. That's all you need, man. And they've got, most important part in soccer, got to have a good stamina. You got to be able to run a lot, something I could never do. So I think they can do it. I hope they can do it. Bring home the gold for the States.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But like I said, yeah, they got the win over Sweden and France. So they got some momentum, like you said. And going into the Olympics, man, I'm ready for it. We're rooting for you. We'll be covering it for sure. So I'm hoping that they do great. The Olympics are in a little bit, but for now, man, they're doing great. So hopefully they keep it up.
I think Shaw's daughter might be the next women's national team player.
Yeah, she'd be a striker.
Yeah, she,
If she likes soccer, she will be.
Yeah, she's ready.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be that next kicker. She's gonna be that next kicker.
Yeah, she'll be getting goals left and right.
I hope so.
So what you think about this, Big Shaw? What do you think about this women's national team?
Well, I hope they win the gold and bring it home. That's all I hope for. The guys, they just have the guys gonna be all right. I ain't gonna say they were sorry or whatever. They gonna shake back, but the girls, they gonna bring the gold home. I got faith in the girls. We ain't worried about friends. We ain't worried about them people.
No. Brazil, we ain't worried about none of y'all.
We ain't worried about nobody. We're gonna win.
USA, baby.
I just think it's about time. The women's soccer national team. I really want to see them get more and more and more involved on the professional side of soccer. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing really, really good on the Olympic side of soccer. I really want to see them get more and more involved on the professional side. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if we all know, look, soccer. If you don't know, soccer is the number one sport in the world. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily in the U.S. I mean, but I'm talking about just
the world.
Globally, soccer is the biggest sport in the world. And, I want to see women get a chunk of that piece of the pie. I don't know if Europe is ever going to develop a women's side of it. I don't know. I think the men's side has or I should say the U.S. side, I believe, has a women's team. But I would like to see the women get a bigger chunk of the pie or a big chunk of the global market on the soccer side, because I think it's going to propel the women as a whole. Like we were talking about earlier, if women want to get more views on their sports, they got to make an impact to draw people in. And I think, soccer would be an amazing sport to kick that up a notch. The women are doing it on the Olympic side, but on the professional side, I would love to see them get a bigger chunk of the pie.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some more recognition. They deserve it, and their talent shows each time they play, man. So
yeah. That's true.
Hey, I know we got a lot of time left, though. That was pretty much like our last topic, but I want to kind of get into a couple of things. We were talking about Major League Baseball. I saw Stephen A., and I was watching a little bit of Max Kellerman, and they were talking about how basically the same thing Shaw was saying earlier, how, baseball was kind of, losing their audience a little bit. And I think a lot of it has to do with the hitting, right? If you look at Judge, he strikes out like 140 times so far this year.
It's been a lot. I know if Frank is here, he'd get us kicked off for what he'd say about the Yankees right now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I'm just, what I'm saying is Stephen A., he was just kind of using the Yankees as an example because that's Stephen A.'s team. I'm just talking about globally, or I should say across the board on all teams, batting averages are down. I mean, they're just down. They're not hitting the ball as good as what they were. And and I don't know if it's just because maybe the pitching has just either increased, or if everybody's just trying to jack the ball more to get home runs, and they're just not getting it over the fence, and so it's hurting their batting averages. Mm-hmm. But definitely, if you look around the league, I mean, it's definitely taking a big toll. Like, the hitting of the game has gone down quite substantially, and I think that's why what Shaw was saying earlier, about not being interested in watching baseball, is just because the hitting is just not really there right now. Even the fundamentals of baseball is not really truly there. The pitching is, but the fundamentals of batting and things like that have kind of gone by the wayside because everybody's trying to search for the next home run.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point, Jay. Being that, is it the pitchers who are getting better, or is the hitting getting worse, or is people just trying to hit a home run each time they get up to plate? And it's a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, because you see, like I said, we're just going to go through the Yankees. You see, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, because those are two big power hitters in baseball. They get paid to hit home runs, and that's it. They don't get paid to hit singles. They get paid to drive runs in and to hit the ball over the fence. And if they're not doing that, then, they might think, well, what am I getting paid all this money for? I get paid to hit 30, 40 home runs a season. And if I'm not doing that, then why not? But it's also just the amount of strikeouts, like you said, it's just going up and up each and every year. And that's just a combination of, like I said, people trying to hit extra base hits or home runs. And it's also with the pitching, too, because let's face it, pitchers, basically every single pitcher, whether you're a starter or a reliever, is throwing 95 plus now. It wasn't always like that. Guys are just throwing heat each and every game now, and it's just getting, the pitching is increasing along with the difficulty to hit it. It's hard to hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball if it's got a little bit of movement or some sink to it, no matter who you are. And like we were talking about with Shane Bieber earlier, just the amount of strikeouts he was able to rack up. I mean, that's a lot for just 4 games, almost 50 strikeouts in 4 games. That's insane. Yeah. And just to go back to the hitting portion of it, you had guys like Tony Gwynn who'd strike out like 20 times a season. Now you have guys striking out 20 times a week. So it's just the way the game has changed. It's more of a power-friendly type of game now. It's not more of a, you're not trying to bunt someone over unless you're a pitcher. You're not stealing bases anymore, hardly. It's just changed from more of a strategic type of game with the base stealing, with the bunting, and all that, hitting the other way too. Because especially with for defense, the shift has changed a lot. Because used to, there was never such thing as a shift. You just played in your little square or your rectangle that you're in, and that was it. Now you have, your third baseman playing where the second baseman is now, just because a guy pulls the ball that way. And also, it's a fact the hitters. I mean, the hitters. You would think that if you have, basically the whole left side of the field open, just lay a bunt down. Just as long as you can get it past the pitcher, you basically have a double almost. But they just don't. They don't do that because they're trying to hit home runs. And it's just things like that's why people are striking out more. That's why averages are down. And I mean, while it is fun to see home runs and everything, attendance ain't getting much better. I mean, attendance has been pretty stagnant. The only reason it's up is because there's no one to watch it last year.
Right, absolutely. Logan, I was looking at, right now the game going on today right now on ESPN is the Mets versus Chicago Cubs. And if you know the Mets currently right now are in first place.
Yeah.
But, Francisco Lindor just signed on with the Mets. He's looking for this big contract and things like that, right? But the man's got a 179 batting average, 1.179. Like, how the heck do you even try to get a big contract when you're hitting .179? That's almost a dang pitcher's batting average.
Right.
And if you look down the whole Mets lineup, only 2 of them are actually have good batting averages. You got, Davis with the 300 batting average, and you got Nemo with the 425 average. But that 425 average is a little bit inflated. Right, but he has 2 strikeouts in this game. Like, Nemo's got 2 strikeouts this game. And if you look up and down the lineup, there's several teams or several players that are hitting right at 200 or even below 200. Yeah. And this is the first place team. So you can only imagine what the other batting averages for the other teams must look like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just a small sample, right?
You're right. And I mean, I know baseball is a really streaky kind of sport. You can go on, a few games like a week or so, you hit 300, 350. And you get a bunch of extra base hits. But then you could, on the other side, you can bat 150 for a week. That's just the way it is, and that's how it's changed. You don't see that much consistency anymore. There are a few players out there, of course, but I'm saying for the majority of baseball, there's not that many consistent guys who are going to get on base, who are going to draw out walks, who aren't going to strike out a lot, and who can also hit for a little bit of power. That's just the way it is. You can divide players now into this guy's going to hit home runs, but he's going to strike out a lot. This guy's going to get he's going to get a lot of singles, but he's not going to hit that many home runs. Or he's a good fielder, but he can't hit. That's just the way it is now.
Oh, right. Well, even if you look at Atlanta, let's just take Atlanta for example. Atlanta, Freeman is their big guy,
right?
But yeah, he's batting at a 237 batting average, 237,
right?
And he's got 1 strikeout and he's got 1 hit on 3 at bats. I mean, but he's batting at 237. I mean, that's not what you would expect out of your big star.
Right. And I mean, to be fair, it is still early on in the season. Guys are going to get better.
I mean, that's true. It is. You're right.
Yeah, it is. But just as a sample size, though, I mean, like I said earlier, it's a streaky sport. Baseball is very much a streak-driven sport because guys can get on a hot streak and they can, win the MVP. I always like to bring up how the Nationals won the World Series after being below 500. I think it was at the All-Star game. So even if you struggle, you can still come back and have a good average. But baseball is the only sport in the world where if you hit 3 out of 10 times, you're considered a success. So
right. It's crazy to me because I thought, when we first started talking about baseball at the preseason, and we were kind of giving our forecasting and things like that. And I said, hey, the Yankees got a great lineup. They just need pitching, but they're pitching. I was kind of worried about their pitching. But now, when you go back and look at what they're doing, and I understand this is still at the beginning of the season, and it possibly could change. But when you got Judge at 245, Gardner at 214, Stanton at 179, and Torres at 185, that's not the kind of production you're looking at out of your big guys.
Especially with the Yankees, because the Yankees spend a lot of money, and they have the worst record in the American League at the moment. I think they're like 5-10, 5-11. Yeah. I know I think it was me, Frankie, and I think Shaw was on the show that night, and they were 5-5. And we're like, should we worry about them? And we were like, nah, they're fine. And then they went on like a 6-game losing streak. So we might have cursed them a little bit. So all the Yankees fans out there.
Like my team's the Astros, and we're not doing any better.
I was saying, I think y'all are in.
We're 7-9 right now.
Yeah, I think you're in. Are you?
We're at the bottom of the heat.
Yeah.
Now I'm not gonna get worried about the Astros just yet because we're only 2.5 games out of first. But still, it does kind of concern me the fact that we're under 500. We should be above 500.
Right. I mean, it's fine though. Like I said, that's just how it is with baseball. Shaw,
what do you think about that, Big Shaw?
Huh?
I know you haven't been watching any baseball, but what do you think about this slow start and the lack of hitting?
The folks like who? The Yankees?
Just anybody. Yankees, sure.
I think pretty much the league in general, for the most part, except unless your name is the Dodgers or Padres.
Well, the Dodgers in the Padres game was good.
That was good.
Hitting. In that game, I watched that game. But the Yankees gonna be fine. They need to panic.
Yeah.
They're gonna
be all right.
They're gonna be all right. But they're gonna be all right. Don't worry about the Yankees. We're gonna be fine.
You'll be good. And if all else fails, just fire the GM. All right, now Jay, me and Shaw did our first round NFL mock draft on our last show. So we don't have time to go through all 30 picks, but I just want to get who you think the Cowboys will pick up, because I think me and Shaw both went defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, at the number 10 spot, I feel like I don't think if the Cowboys want to get Pitts, which he's been linked to the Cowboys in rumors, they'd have to trade up for him, because I don't think Pitts is going to make it past the 9th spot. Honestly, I think he'll be gone within the first 7 or 8 spots. I don't think unless you trade up, I don't think they're going to have a chance at Pitts. So then you start looking at, okay, if I can't get what I think is a good tight end, I've already got pretty good wide receivers. I don't need a wide receiver. So then you start looking at, they're going to have to start looking at the defense. And where are you going to look at the defense? You're probably going to look at either Surtain, which I think is probably going to be the most likely one to get drafted. I think Henry might be, in the background. Penny Sewell, he's not going to be there for us, so I know we're not going to go for Penny Sewell. I think if we don't trade up for Pitts, then we're going to stick at the number 10 spot and probably try to pick up Surtain. And I kind of say that's where the Cowboys are going. Interesting, Logan. We've been talking, and I know Shaw's been talking about Atlanta for a while now, and how Atlanta was going to go after a quarterback. But now there's a lot of talk that Atlanta's going to stop that pick and possibly move out of that spot.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
If they can get something good for it, I don't see why not. Because I mean, they don't really need Kyle Pitts. Their offense is fine. It would be great to get him, but you don't really. I would say there's always been the Justin Fields links and everything, but I'd say it's not like Matt Ryan sucks. It's not like he's on his. It's not like they don't have a quarterback that they can go to for another year or two, maybe more. And I mean, if they can get a good package, why not trade it? Why not? If they can get a later first round pick, and if they can get maybe a first rounder for a couple of years down the road, I don't see why not. Because I mean, like I said, their offense is fine. There's nobody on the defensive side of the ball that they need to spend a top 4 pick on. There's nobody.
Right. But do you think if Atlanta trades out of the number 4 spot, whoever trades in the 4 spot for that would obviously go for quarterback?
Yeah, I could definitely see it because I think me and Shaw picked we picked like 3 of the 4 big quarterbacks going top few picks. It was Lawrence, Wilson. I think Shaw put Trey Lance going pretty early over, I think, Justin Fields even.
I got faith in Trey Lance.
You put Trey Lance up there pretty early.
Yeah, but here's something interesting now. We had Daniel Kelly on our show not that long ago, maybe a few months back, whatever. And I saw on Facebook he had put out an article, and ESPN covered it or mentioned it, saying that he believes that Zach Wilson is going to be a historic bust. So Daniel Kelly,
I think he said Trevor Lawrence.
No, he was talking about. He may have said Trevor Lawrence too, but the article I was reading, he was talking about Zach Wilson. He was talking about Zach Wilson is basically being a manufactured quarterback, and he's not going. He basically is going to be a bust. That's the article that I read about Daniel Kelly. Now I don't know. I didn't read the one about Trevor Lawrence. If he put one out about Trevor Lawrence, but Daniel Kelly. So what I'm saying is, if the Jets, we all know Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1 to Jacksonville. That's going to happen.
That's a good one.
So we're looking at the Jets at number 2. If the Jets go and select Zach Wilson, and if it upholds that Daniel Kelly is right, that Zach Wilson is a bust, do you think these Jets are going to look back and trade Sam Darnold and be like, what the hell?
I don't know, because Sam Darnold ain't that good either.
He ain't going to be no bust. I'm telling you right now, he ain't going to be no
Sam
bust.
Darnold ain't that good.
Oh,
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned it, Jerry. I just got an alert from Mr. Kelly. He said he was on talking about how Trevor Lawrence will be a bust, and he's sharing.
That's what I said.
But he also talking about Zach Wilson.
Okay.
We also talking about Zach Wilson.
Hold on, Drake. Hold on.
We got a couple minutes left, just by the way.
Now, did I say Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust?
I know you've been saying it. You have been saying it, Sean.
Yeah, he has. Well, I know. I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is going to be not be a bust or be a bust. Zach Wilson,
he's not going to be a bust. I promise you that. Zach Wilson, this is going to have a good career. That Lance guy, what's his name?
Trey Lance.
He's going to have a better career.
I believe that.
Trevor Lawrence
backs because nobody saying nothing about him. Nobody mentioning his name. All they want, he only played one season. Look, we ain't worrying about that. Can you win games? That's all I want you to do. If you can get out there and play these games and win us some games, play with that chip on your shoulder and watch what he does. I'm telling you, Trevor Lawrence going to be a bust. He's going to be one of the biggest busts in the NFL. I'm going to stand on it.
You going to put him up there with the Ryan Leaf and the Jamarcus Russell? You going to put him up there?
I'm going to put him up there. He's going to be one of the biggest busts I've ever seen.
Wow.
All right, guys. It's about time to wrap it up, I think.
It is. We got about 2
2 minutes.
Yeah. All right, let's head on out.
Oh, I will say this. Oh, in 2 minutes. I don't care what nobody say. Minnesota, y'all did a great job. Y'all did a great job. I'm going to talk about it more on my show because I can't do it on y'all show. I can do it on mine. I was told I can. But y'all did a great job. Y'all did a great job. Nobody acted fool. Nobody did nothing crazy. Y'all did good.
Real quick. Trey Lance a bust by Daniel Kelly. Former NFL scout continues to warn NFL teams about quarterback Trey Lance. I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying Daniel Kelly saying, hey.
I'm not worried about it. I don't care who said it. I'm not worried about what.
Hold on, one more thing. Real quick. Hey, real quick. The Sporting News recently wrote an article about me. I found this morning while things are heating up. Former NFL scout rips BYU Zach Wilson and Sky Report surefire bust.
All right.
Look, we got 2 minutes left. We got 2 minutes left.
So thank you for joining us for our Tuesday night episode of Unscripted Sports Podcast, brought to you by BS3 Radio with Spreaker and Northeast Streaming Sports. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Zodiac with Roku, YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Facebook. Make sure you like, comment, and share. We love you guys. Have a great night.
You're listening to Unscripted on Northeast Streaming Sports.